potentially for one of the great occasions of any rugby league season. He's got the strength, he's got the speed, French, dazzling in this wonderful, most famous and historic of competitions.
To the draw for the third round of the men's Betfred Challenge Cup. Now there are quite a lot of teams involved in the men's draw because of course the Big Threes put pay to a lot of the first round matches, just 3 taking place, and in a change to the format the Super League teams are entering at this stage as well, so we've got an awful lot to get through.
The 2
Catalans Dragons will be going to Halifax Panthers, Fatto Heath or Oral St James.
Well, good morning, welcome back. Part 2 of our Betfred Challenge Cup third round doubleheader brings us to the Shay. Halifax Panthers against Catalans Dragons, a place in the fourth round on the line. Alongside me for this one, a former winner, Kyle Amor. Kyle, it's a great time of year, isn't it? Round 3 of the Challenge Cup, you get these kind of matchups, these kind of classic cup ties that we all grew up on. It's a really exciting place to be.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And look, you know, given the sort of new format with the Super League clubs coming in earlier, you know, we're seeing right across the country some huge stars of the game playing at grounds like here today, and I just think it's great. I think it's great for the grassroots of the game. You know, there's some amateur clubs playing today, and even clubs at this level. You know, it can be a huge payday for them. So it's brilliant, really.
We saw last night live on the Sportsman, Halifax pay full respect to York, the team that they put out. Well, Catalans have done the same. There's a lot of heavy hitters in there. Sam Tompkins starts. Tommy Makinson will make his Catalans debut. Ollie Partington in there. Elliot Whitehead returns. So there's a lot of firepower out there for Catalans.
There is, and look, you almost reflect upon Catalan's season last year, obviously finishing 7th, not up to the standards that Steve McNamara would have liked, and again, you know, there's a number of coaches who bounce into this season perhaps with 1 or 2 eyebrows raised over them in terms of how they'll start. Well, Steve McNamara is putting his gauntlet down to his players, and you know, look, a good cup run, and obviously, you know, crucially good run in the league as well would be crucial for that. So it doesn't surprise me that there's a lot of big names here this afternoon.
What can Halifax do to make this as uncomfortable as possible for Catalans, especially in the opening 10-20 minutes?
Well, I think they've got to make it exactly that. You know, you saw last night, you know, the way that York went after Hull KR for the first 20 or so minutes, and then, you know, we discussed about that, how that bench rotation perhaps was the difference, really. And I think what Halifax have got to do is exactly that. They've got to start big, strong, aggressive, and just try and put this Catalan side under as much pressure and make it as uncomfortable. However, they'll have to do it for a much longer period than just 20 minutes.
Yeah, 80 minutes of Betfred Challenge Cup Rugby League on the way. Let's hear from the 2 head coaches, Kyle Eastman and Steve McNamara. Well, Kyle, thank you for joining us. Big test for your side today. What's your week been like coming into this one?
Yeah, look, it's a great test for us, isn't it? Playing against a good team in the Super League. The boys have prepared well, though, and I think that's all you can ask. You know, the lads have prepared really well. We've concentrated on what we can do and how we can affect the game, and yeah, we're excited, looking forward to it.
They've shown you guys kind of ultimate respect with the squad that they've put out. They've gone really strong. You'll have to be at your best, won't you, to test them today?
Absolutely. I think we'll have to be at our best to test everyone we play against. And like I say, they have shown us the respect, and rightly so. We're a great rugby league club ourselves, and like I said, it's one of those opportunities for our team to really put their hand up and show what they've got, and yeah, we're looking forward to it.
It's a special competition, the Challenge Cup. Days like these are special. What would it mean if you could go out there and put on a really strong show in this afternoon?
Well, that's what I expect. I expect us to go out there and put on a strong showing. We're not here to be fans, and we're here to play a game of rugby league, and you know, we prepared well, we've trained hard for the last couple of months, and like I said, we'll go out there, we'll enjoy it, and we'll play as best as we can.
Best of luck, mate.
Thank you very much.
That's one. Steve, thank you for joining us. The first step on what I'm sure you guys hope will be a long run in the Betfred Challenge Cup this year. How important is it that you get off to a positive start?
Yeah, look, I think everyone's ready to play. You know, pre-season's been long. We've all had a trial game, etc. But you know, it becomes real, doesn't it? You know, it's a Challenge Cup, and you get your first opportunity to try and progress to the next stage. And you've got to, you know, the way the format's been put this year, we're all away from home, the Super League sides against, you know, pretty good opposition, like what we've got today against Halifax. So yeah, we're looking forward to the challenge and hopefully progression into the next stage.
You've gone strong with your lineup. How much of your thinking was about making sure you get the job done today, but also keeping one eye on next week and getting players up to speed?
Definitely respecting the opposition, definitely respecting the venue that we're coming to. Obviously, no one's played a competitive game yet, trial games yet, but competitive games no. So you want to find some rhythm before next week. So. Yeah, we've got a strong team. We've got a fair few players who won't play today, but looking at our 17, it's very strong.
You're going to come up against a Halifax team that will be desperate to start fast, get up in your face, make a point. How do you kind of control those first 10-15 minutes when it is at that height?
Yeah, you've got to match that, you've got to be ready for that, which I feel we are. You watched the game last night, the York-UKR game, and York were tremendous, were they, for large parts of that game. So the players know they knew before what to expect. Probably reiterated it last night in terms of watching that, and we know we have to be ready. It's an early start. We've got to get up, had our breakfast, and let's get ready to go.
Best of luck today, mate.
Cheers, thanks.
The head coach is looking to take the next steps on the road to Wembley. Halifax Panthers, Wembley winners last season, of course, in the 1895 trophy. We can have a look at how their new head coach, Kyle Eastman, lines his side up this afternoon. And there's a French flavour to the Panthers at fullback. Louis Jouffret in the one jersey. It's a win pairing of Ben Tibbs and James Saltonstall, and inside them in the centres, Charlie Graham is joined by Ben Crooks. It's a half-back pairing of James Woodburn-Hall and Jack Hansen for the Panthers, and they play behind a pack fronted up by Brandon Douglas, Adam O'Brien and Ronan Dixon. In the second row, Owen McCarron and Zach McCoon are joined by Jacob Fairbank, locking in the pack and looking to add the impetus off the bench for the home side this afternoon. Tom Inman, Brad Graham, Joe Hurd and Will Calcott complete the 17. Well, Steve McNamara talked about showing Halifax respect with his lineup. He's done exactly that. Sam Tompkins, the old-timer, he was retired this time last year. He's back amongst it in Betfred Challenge Cup action at fullback. And it's the Catalans debut for Tommy Makinson. He's joined by Fouad Yaha on the wing. And a really impressive looking centre pairing of Bailey Cinnamon, formerly of Canterbury Bulldogs, and former Australia international Nick Kotrick. A French flair in the halves, Cesar Ruz is joined by Arthur Morg, and they play behind the front row of Chris Satai, Ben Garcia and Julien Bousquet. And it's a second row of Tarek Sims and Elliot Whitehead returning to the Catalans, with Oliver Partington also making his debut at loose forward. And on the bench for the visitors, Frank Maria, Ulrix da Costa, Davita Pangai and Paul Segur are the substitutes coming off the bench for Catalans this afternoon. And Kyle, we spoke about it at the top of the show, but when you see it in front of you and just some of those debutants for Catalans, this is a very, very top-heavy team.
Yeah, it sure is, Lewis. Good afternoon to you and everyone wherever you may be tuning into this one. The quality there is all present for the Catalan Dragons, and as a former front rower, I can't help but just look past the sheer size and quality that is in the visiting pack. They've got it all to do with Brandon Douglas and Rowan Dixon and the rest of the front rowers that may feature coming off the bench. It's a big job on hand, but a place in round 4. The big guns are here in town, and let's just see what Kyle Eastman and his troops can do in this contest over the next 80 minutes. That, of course, is what they're playing for, a chance to progress through and lift that trophy under the arch of Wembley. But there's a long way to go yet, Lewis, before we can even start considering which side will be at that day later in the summer.
Well, we had a fantastic night in York last night as the Knights took on the Hull KR. Ultimately, Rovers came out too strong, but we saw in those opening 20 minutes of that game the home side make it a real firefight, a real arm wrestle, and that's exactly what Halifax need to do in this game as well, isn't it? Get ramped up, put the pressure on early, and just try and take Catalans out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, it's their only real shot at it, isn't it? You have to again mention the quality of the two sides, and a lovely pre-season, no doubt, down in Perpignan in much better conditions than perhaps what these players will be used to on this pitch today. But Halifax have got to ride the luck, take the moments, and really just put the Dragons under pressure right from the get-go.
It's the atmosphere building around us. The second year in a row, of course, that Catalans have visited Halifax in the Betfred Challenge Cup, comfortable victors last season in the 6th round, but as you mentioned, it's a little bit colder than it would have been at that time of year, this time around, and it is, of course, the first competitive hit out for Catalans, so Halifax may just try and look to catch some cold, if you pardon the pun, Carl.
Yeah, definitely. You know, look, Halifax have gone through the mill, haven't they, over the last sort of 12, 18 months, and you know, a new season, a new start. And what would be equally even more impressive is if they can manage to muster up some sort of performance that competes, and not only does that, it gets over the top of the Dragons. The Cup has produced a number of upsets, of course it has, over its 100+ year history. Will we see another one here perhaps at the Shay this afternoon?
You don't have to go back too far. Halifax have been in the semi-finals. I think you played in that game at Bolton.
Yeah, that's right.
Ago,
yeah. It was. Oh, you're testing my knowledge here now. It must have been a good 5-6 year ago. And
2019, I believe.
8-0, I think it was that day. I don't think there was much in. It was pouring down at Bolton. I remember that, and you know, like all good championship sides do, they try to make it as physically uncomfortable as they can, and they certainly did that day. But thankfully, Lewis, we got over the top of them.
Well, there she is, the Betfred Challenge Cup trophy. Carl, you've had the honour of lifting it, and every time you see it, every time you get close to it, you're just struck by how special it is and how special this competition is.
Yeah, look, it's a beautiful looking trophy. You're dead right, Lewis, as well, but it's the memories as well off the field as the players enter and walk right past that famous trophy.
Well, the fireworks go up, and as you mentioned, it is the memories, and just maybe there'll be some special memories for Halifax Panthers today. One of the Super League big boys is in town, but this is the Betfred Challenge Cup, and nobody is safe. We've seen it plenty of times before. This competition throws up all sorts. So 80 minutes of live and exclusive Betfred Challenge Cup third round action here on the Sportsman. An absolute pleasure to have you with us. What will this lunchtime kickoff bring? So here we go. Two teams ready to go. Halifax in their traditional blue and white hoops with the white shorts, and Catalans in their black strip with that almost neon green stripe down the middle of it, and plenty to be excited about as a neutral watching this Catalans team. We mentioned several names in there. Should be a fun season in the south of France. So Tommy Makinson gets us underway, up and running here at the Shay in the Betfred Challenge Cup third round. Halifax will get first taste of the football, and
hold the 10, wait,
very important, Kyle, isn't it, that they get into their work early, get into the arm wrestle, but ultimately complete.
Yeah, an early touch is what's needed for particularly all the front rowers here as they try and set a platform against no doubt what is a physical pack. We've mentioned it already. Get to the end of your set, put the ball down, and then transition from attack into defence.
Well, this isn't a bad start out of yardage. Getting themselves into a position to try and put a kick in. Just stopped in their tracks a little bit there as now they bring the ball out to the right-hand side.
That's a good carry there from Douglas, his second one so far in that set.
An important one as well on the fourth, just to get his team some valuable metres, and the kick goes up, so Sam Tompkins will drift underneath it and take it cleanly and look for Tommy Makinson, who'd have thought that would have been a Super League pairing a few years ago when one was in Wigan and one was in the Red via St Helens, but here they are applying their trade for the Catalan Dragons.
Two quality players, and Makinson gets his hands on the ball again. 350 appearances nearly for St Helens, and now he's wearing the colours of the Catalan Dragons.
Catalans up to the halfway mark. Still a couple of tackles in hand as Kotrick plays the ball, but there's an error, the first one of the game, and that's a feather in the cap for Halifax. And now Ben Crook's trying to find some space. We know if he gets into open field, he can turn the afterburners on.
Yeah, pretty impressive really, just playing straight away off the error, trying to get the ball into space. And the pass is just around Crooks' ankles and he can't quite get any momentum, but nice little interplay there between the two middles. Jacob Fairbank for the soft short pass.
Wait!
So O'Brien brings us out to the left-hand side to Fairbank and just looks for a second then as if they were going to put a little bit of width on that play and bring us out to that left edge, but they'll come back central. Fairbank again getting plenty of ball in hand early on. He drops it off to Brandon Douglas, who settles about 25 metres away from the Catalans line. They're working themselves into a decent position, and now they come out to the right. That's Jufret looking to put a ball over the top, taken in by Saltonstall. He'll settle it on the 10. This is the last, but Halifax have worked themselves into a really good end of set kicking position. What can they do with it? It's not a great ball, but they try that little reverse loop again, but Jufret shut down. But I tell you what, in terms of places to turn the ball over, Halifax will be pretty pleased.
Yeah, spot on. You're dead right, Lewis. You know, just like the little interplay there again between Hansen and Jufret. Just testing the Catalan Dragons left edge out. The Dragons answer it, and it's their turn now to come away with difficult carries through with Yaha getting his first one of the afternoon.
So out to the right-hand side we come. Ben Garcia in at 9 for Catalans. I don't think we'll see too much expansion from them in this part of the field at the moment as Busquets carries.
Back! Hold. Go free.
He plays the ball and Garcia again brings us out to the right-hand side.
Elliot Whitehead there. How good is it to see him back
Go for.
over these shores in a Catalan Dragon shirt? The chance down the right edge and another mistake.
Error.
It's another mistake, and that's 2 sets to the Dragons and 2 errors, Lewis. And it just gives hope and opportunity for the blue and white to Halifax.
We'll see it again. They come to the short side and trying to just engineer a 3-on-2, but unable to make it pay. I think it's Bailey Sirinan who's put the ball down. The misdirection.
Well, they have the numbers, but they just can't take it in. Bailey Sheridan perhaps wanted a little bit of an earlier ball off Artia Morg to allow him to promote a catch and pass to set his winger away.
So Halifax take the scrum dead centre. Hansen brings us out to the right-hand side where Charlie Graham brings him into positive equity, and he gets a pretty good play the ball. So a lot of positives in the first 5 minutes from a Halifax perspective.
Quicker than that, Catalan!
Douglas plays the ball, then O'Brien brings it out to the left-hand side. Hansen again, and there's a spread play here if they go for it. In the end, they go for the crash ball, and that's gone to ground. But the referee has seen a high shot in there, so it will be a Halifax penalty.
Well, the compounding error with error at the moment at the Dragons, and then they've given away a penalty. It was a beautiful line from the left edge back row, Owen McCarron, former Whitehaven man, very industrious and hard working middle, and he wins his side a penalty. And they're 15 metres away now of Halifax.
We saw York last night from similar situation, opt to take the points. Halifax decide to keep ball in hand and immediately try to engineer some space over on this right hand side for Charlie Graham to work into. He's wrapped up, he's still going, eventually is held. So this is Louis Jufret in at acting half, brings us out to the left hand side where Zach McCoon will carry in. He's settled 6 metres away from the line. Golden opportunity for Halifax to strike first in this game. Douglas just tries to go the direct route over the top, but he's stopped. Options left and right of the play the ball. They'll go to the left hand side. O'Brien just tries to snipe through himself, but the Catalans defence wise to it.
He's always going to have a crack there, O'Brien, but they look like they're setting up to this right edge. They go the other way.
Jufret looks crooks through, could be through, can't quite take the ball with him. But a really nice little bit of off-the-cuff play going to the short side, and I tell you what, 5 minutes in, talk about French flair in this game. It's all coming from Louis Jufret.
It certainly is. They look like they're going to shape up to the right, but a little switch down to the left-hand side, and Jufret does ever so well. And just the centre there, Ben Crooks just can't quite take it in. And the ball is knocked forward. Just there. And the Dragons breathe a sigh of relief because they know they're in a game already. 6 minutes in, it's been all Halifax.
Yeah, an early warning shot from the Panthers, and the first thing for Catalans to do is to fix these errors.
Yeah, just get to the end of the set, because so far good line speed there. And the Panthers, and they are up for this one.
They're all over Tarek Sims there, absolutely no space at all for the Fijian international. And
well, the question is, Lewis, is how long can they keep this momentum? We spoke about it, you know, in the past as well. The championship sides, they come out of the blocks, and that's another good shot again. Beautiful tip on there from Partington.
Yeah, he's a real big signing, isn't he, for this Catalan side? Excellent for Salford for a couple of years as Chris Satai makes some real good progress and gets a quick play the ball. So a little bit of a roll on for Catalans. It's a tall kick, there's far too much on it.
A horrible kick it is. They created so much momentum.
And here goes Dufresne again, straight on his bike, looking to try and force a breakaway. Catalans' defence have managed to settle themselves in the end, but Halifax playing with a real freedom, some real wind in their sails early on in this game.
Well, just the middle unit of Catalan Dragons there. Lewis got them on the back foot, and Sam Tompkins turns and gives Sejaruz a bit of a spray, because the quality of the kick wasn't what it needed to be. After doing so well through the middle, they find themselves defending inside their own half as Fairbank
Big
takes it. Yeah, big shot there.
Rides it well though, Fairbank. It was Partington who put the hit in, and now a chip over the top, and this has turned Catalans around. There's no fallback home, it's just one or two too many rotations on the football and it goes dead. But they caught Catalans napping again there.
Well, that was good eyes up from O'Brien, but the quality on the kick again, just a fraction too long. Well, the right idea. Makinson does well to beat Douglas, gets on his front, wants a quick play of the ball.
Just about gets it as well. So Catalans just maybe starting to grow into this a little bit after a slow start. That's Bailey Sirinen carrying up towards halfway. And Partington brings him into Halifax real estate, and that's another error.
O'Brien
Julian Bousquet on this occasion.
McCarron, swallows the ball up and transitions defence into attack, but again, they're completing now 25% of the Dragons. 4 sets in, 3 errors. I'm going to find it difficult for them. You see there in the bottom left of the screen the mistake from Bousquet.
Steve McNamara will be spitting feathers with the way that his team have looked after the ball in the first 10 minutes of this game.
Nearly a punch up in back play there, and there's a break here.
Halifax are away on the right hand side.
Brilliant defence, Tompkins.
To touch, it was James Woodburn Hall who got himself into space just for a second. It looked like it had opened up, but as you say, Sam Tompkins there to just drift him into touch.
Well, there was a bit of melee and back play. I think it was Garcia and Jacob Fairbank, and then a break happened just off the back of that offload. He does well to beat Saté, and he runs through there, and he actually gets rid of Tompkins first time. And Tompkins just patient and a textbook tackle, and has work to do to get him over the sideline, and does ever so well.
It was Ben Garcia who was sort of paying attention to that melee that you were talking about, and his back turned to play and very nearly let Halifax in. We said at the beginning, Panthers needs to take Catalans out of their comfort zone. Well, 10 minutes in, this is far from comfortable for the French side.
Certainly is. And Tarek Sims, I think it is, on that far side. It's Whitehead, I beg your pardon.
Go, you move to the side. 2, 3.
So Partington brings it into the middle.
Quicker, Halifax!
Now we come out to the left hand side. Tarek Sims again trying to burst his way through that line, but Halifax wise to it on this occasion. Satai carries that from deep and got a head of steam up, but he's stopped in his tracks, so the kick will come from just inside Halifax territory. Tompkins it is, he puts boot to ball. Dufresne underneath it, comfortable, and then looks to spread it out wide, and I'm not sure that was quite the play there.
No, perhaps not. Just wants to get to centre of the field and give himself some options, but a quality kick there from Tompkins, and now the Dragons will hope and force Halifax into a bit of uncomfort and try and force an error. And for Halifax, it's so important that down this end of the field that they are squeaky clean 100%.
Well, Sam Tompkins has already dug himself out of his team out of a hole down in this far corner, and maybe we'll just see him inject himself into this game a little bit more with all of that craft and leadership that he's got, but that's a 40-20 attempt, and it's not going to get the bounce.
Tackles Halifax.
But I tell you what, it's still not a bad return in terms of the way that they've turned Catalans around. And it's 30 yards. He returns up to the 20-metre line. So, in terms of the arm wrestle, Halifax is well in it.
Yeah.
Not giving Catalans any kind of relief.
And Halifax there ringing their first change. I think it's Rowan Dixon that makes his way for Joe Hurd.
You're ahead of the ball then.
Yeah, he's making some getting on his back from dummy half. Saw the gap between A and B defender, but couldn't quite get through the door. He'll play the ball on the 40, and Partington will just keep this in hand and try and muscle his way into Halifax territory.
Move, white line.
Stopped just short of the halfway line. He plays the ball, and now Busquets will try and bash the barn door down on the 40-metre line. Halifax doing a good job of getting numbers into the tackles and just slowing things down. Here is Tompkins, gets away from a kick chase and then puts the ball up into the air, just about gets that spot on to stop it from going over the try line.
Yeah, Tompkins there just landing that ball a metre away from his own line, and then does the right thing and follows up his kick. First man into the tackle. And it's Halifax now who are just slowly over these last couple of sets are having to come up with difficult carries away from their own line in that last sort of third of the field.
Just feels like the pendulum has swung a little bit, doesn't it? Catalans starting to assert a little bit of dominance in the middle, but Halifax still making reasonable progress in this set as they carry out a yardage. Hansen brings us out to the left-hand side.
Have to ride this part of the game out. Momentum often ebbs and flows in a game, and perhaps we're just seeing now a spell that the Dragons will try and assert some dominance, and defensively the Panthers have to be really, really keen and switched on here.
So Yaha returns the kick, bumps off one tackle and then another, still going, goes to the ground. I think he just lost his footing there, Yaha, so he'll settle on the 40, but Catalans starting this set in good field position, just starting to win that arm wrestle. Kotrick runs into a wall of Halifax defenders.
And this is what I was meaning, Lewis. We saw Yaha spin out of a couple of tackles and make people work that aren't quite there, and we've just seen the same from Kotrick. Tarek Sims now just tries to crash one in and gets to within.
Lifted up into the air. Halifax doing a good job there actually of just regaining control of that tackle and making sure that it didn't result in a penalty. Now Halifax look at Catalans try to apply a little bit of width, but Panthers' line speed is good and just shuts down any options over on that right hand side. Skinny side they go again. Arthur Moore trying to step his way through. This is the last, so decent attacking platform from the kick for Catalans, and it's Tompkins who puts it up again. It's a difficult one to deal with. He's bouncing around all over the place. The referee's got a little bit of work to do here. I think he's going to give this as a Halifax turnover.
Another tick in the box though, Lewis, for the home side.
And their set survived.
Yeah, and their fans are right behind them at the sticks there.
Play the ball. Let's go.
But again, we are slowly seeing our heads being turned predominantly to the left after such a bright opening 8 minutes or so, largely through the own mistakes of the visiting team. They're finding their way back into this game.
Now they look to just try and stretch this Catalans defence a little bit. Satai and Sims in the tackle.
Wait. Go three.
Some good width of pass there.
Just a change of direction for Brandon Douglas to try and muscle his way through. Catalans do a good job of shutting that down. O'Brien then at dummy half. Big contact went in on Jacob Fairback just after he got the ball away. This is the last, so they've done a reasonable job there, Halifax, of getting themselves out of their own territory. The kick goes in, looking for the sideline. In fact, it turns Tompkins around, and that's a real tricky one. The Catalans fall back to deal with, and I tell you what, it's a great end of set.
Absolutely, is it? I thought he was just going to try and usher it over the sideline and let the ball do the work, but it takes a little turn. And it just means that Halifax, look at the middles, they're only just getting back behind the ball now. And not much shaping and around this Dragons side as they come away through Yaha. And that's 3 plays gone.
So Tarek Sims carries in. Fairback does well to get up and try and shut him down. Catalans with the ball on their own 30-metre line. Here's Partington.
Hey! Move Brandon, squad!
He'll play the ball 6 metres inside his own half, and this is the last.
Well, a bit of confusion there. Tompkins just dumping the ball into Bousquet. Well, the referee signalled that, so
his hand was in the air, and then it came down again.
Oh, good shot!
Oh, he's gone flying in there. It's Brandon Douglas going hunting on Chris Satai, and he didn't miss. Satai's still on his feet though.
Oh, to be
big
fair,
man to try and skittle over, isn't he?
he didn't really move much either, did he? The contact was all there, and it looks like Douglas has come off second worst.
And we're going to come back for Halifax ball, I think.
There's another mistake. I perhaps showed you there. Douglas threw everything into him. And Satai reads it so well, but then off the resulting play of the ball, he just perhaps has rattled his marbles a bit, and he loses concentration and focus and turns the ball over 25 metres away from the Halifax line.
Jacob!
And the home fans getting into this, you can hear them lifting around us. They'll be very, very encouraged with what their team have produced in the opening 18 minutes of this game. It was a factor last night, Carl. We spoke about it with Paul Cook for that York OKR game. That first bench rotation, so crucial in these cup ties.
Yeah, well, Halifax made the first change 11 minutes in, and they're looking okay, and they're trying to find a little bit of momentum. Saltonstall wanting a quick ruck, gets one, and just tries to edge his way over onto this right-hand side of the field.
Almost managed to squeeze himself through there, in between Garcia and Cesar Rouge, and Halifax again just finding good metres from play the balls, and really simple carries getting themselves upfield, but it's working for them. Now they come out to the right hand side where Hanson will put boot to ball, and there's a decent chase after this, but Fody Arhart is pretty safe under those, and he'll get a penalty for offside as well. So just the release of the pressure valve for Catalans.
Well, there's almost a quarter of the game gone. It's the first time that we've seen ill discipline from the home team. And I mentioned how you've got to, if you're going to get over a Super League opposition, you've got to be spot on in every department. Of course, there will be penalties and mistakes, and it's how and where you give them away, and that's just attention to detail. Being in front of the kick chase. It's a soft one to give away.
So Catalans up over the Halifax 40. Still haven't really seen them put much fluid play together in the back line as Kotrick now steps through, and he's been a tricky customer on a few occasions. Andy finds the offload for Cesar Rouge to try and do something with. He's stopped 20 metres away. Garcia brings us out to the right. Here's Tompkins now playing in the pivots. Arthur Morg, there could be space out wide. Goes to ground, and Makinson will have to try and just clean things up a little bit.
Good edge defence there. Ben Crooks shoots in and Winger follows. You have to defend again.
To the short side, looking to try and engineer that 3-on-2 that they've looked for a few times. Still nothing coming. Halifax do well at shutting that down. So this is the last, probably the best attacking platform on a fifth that we've seen from a Catalans perspective. The kick goes up, it's bubbling around, and they're going to get the ball back.
First one is by Halifax.
Yeah, I think it was Charlie Graham who loses that ball initially. A difficult kick, a lot of bodies in and around it. See the kick here from Artie Morg. Just tries to land it exactly on top of the centre's head, and does so. Makes it incredibly difficult with the ball behind him almost, and he can't take it in. And it's this here, a set start. Quarter of the game gone, a lot of energy being burned. I just wonder whether the Dragons will pick this moment, Lewis, just to unpick what has been a tenacious effort so far.
So Tompkins feeds the scrum. They just hold it at the back for a while before bringing it out to the right hand side. Morg steps back in off his right foot, but unable to find any space to jink through, and Catalans will reset with Partington. Drops it back on the inside to Satai, who manages to get himself free and get the legs driving, but again chopped down. 3 Halifax defenders in there. Again they go to the right hand side. Whitehead trying to force his way over. Can't do anything with it, so pretty much back to where they started from on that tackle. Garcia from acting half out to Partington. Partington to Morg. Morg to Sims, who tries to go through the front door, but Again, Halifax's goal line defence is very good.
Release that!
Still opportunities available. Tompkins stabs a kick through. Is it weighted well? Not quite. Just over rotates again and goes dead.
We cannot take away the quality in defence for Halifax at the moment. Yes, the kick's too long, but it's the sheer pressure, the ability to work under the ball, to put pressure on Tompkins there that forces this kick to be a fraction too long. You just see there, Douglas once again, he's had a stellar afternoon so far.
Movement squad, Julian! Go, short on your 10. James, play on the
Halifax
mark.
out to the right-hand side and already up to the 40 from that 20-metre tap. So they are finding joy, aren't they, out of yardage. They are making territory. Hansen now out to the left, and they'll try and add a little bit of width.
Good hands.
Drew Frey out to Crooks, and they can move on this left-hand side. This is Tibbs. Eventually rocked down, and he spilled the ball. So Catalans now on the break. He's bouncing around all over the shop. I think we'll come back for a Catalan scrum. We will.
It's disappointing from Halifax.
For a second looked as if they'd got on the outside of him, didn't it?
Yeah, they'd done enough. You know, that was only play 2 or 3. Take the tackle, realise who you're playing, and realise where you are in this game, in this half. Finish your set, put the ball back down the other end, because it's been the last 10 minutes has been all inside the Halifax half, and they're having to defend once again.
What? Movement squad, Halifax! Hold! Hold! Go! What?
Halifax on the attack. Tarek Sims looking to try and burst through the line. Ben Garcia is now at dummy half. He's got options on both sides of the ball.
6 again, slow peel!
Tavita Pangai Jr. is on for the Dragons. This is Cesar Rouge, who's wrapped up by 3 Halifax defenders.
Move, you wasn't. Hold. Go on.
Now Partington comes out to the left. Pangai Jr. again. Just trying to break through the door.
Move line! Line. Hold. Go through.
Now we come to the left-hand side.
Inside.
Big ball over the top for Kotrick, who tries to get out on the edge. Could score!
Oh, great
The referee
defence.
said he's lost control of the ball, and Halifax celebrate that as if they've scored a try.
Beautiful defence there, because it looked like Kotrick had done everything right. Gets rid of his defender. But just look again, look at the work under the ball. The blue and white shirts coming across, and it's the halfback there on the former Australian international in Kotrick. He just offers him over the sideline.
Move, Elliot!
Kyle Eastman will be delighted with his troops so far.
Move, 2!
Halifax on the front foot again. And yeah, Kyle Eastman, who's just stood to our left-hand side, will be very pleased.
That's a good
fake, and nearly flying through the middle goes Will Calcott onto the field. His first involvement is a real positive one.
Well, for all the defending that Halifax have been doing, they seem to have a bit of a spring in their step.
Tom Inman
Get up!
prepped and ready to come on as well. They'll come to the right-hand side. Louis Dufresne has been a real box of tricks in this game. Makes another 10 metres. Inman now on. This is the last. They'll come out to Hansen, who puts the crossfield kick up. Crooks trying to get underneath it. I think that's come off a Halifax hand, so it will be Catalans' ball. But again, they are burying the Dragons deep inside their own corner.
Yeah, perhaps would just have liked a bit of a better end to that set. Adam O'Brien makes his way for Tom Ingman.
This line.
Inman fresh onto the field.
Rock speed, guys, a little bit quicker. Middle, guys. Sam, middle.
You're right.
It's a bit of a breather in the game for the first time.
It's Yaha who's tasked with trying to get away from his own end.
Hold.
And Pangai Jr. straight into 3 Halifax players.
Release, Jacob. 2. Go 2. Good.
Partington. Soft ball, brilliant ball it is. And the back row is away.
Catalans could be in here. Morg looks to put Makinson away. He's brought down. Still going, Tommy Makinson. It was a brilliant line break from Catalans, but I think we're going to go back for a penalty for a high shot on Makinson. Maybe did just ride a little high.
Wait.
Well, the pass from Partington was exceptional. The timing of the run was brilliant. But they survived, but for how long?
So Tompkins brings us out to the left-hand side. Kotrick, he's bounced off tackles almost every time he's got the ball so far. Proving really difficult to wrap up for Halifax.
He's been a tricky customer for this right edge.
This is Busquets trying to go over the top of Halifax, dead central. They stand up to it on this occasion. Still 0-0, 27 minutes played. Is that about to change as Pangai Jr. looks to go for the line? Can he get the ball free? No, he can't.
That is brilliant. Brilliant work again from Halifax.
This is colossal defence from the Panthers. Can they keep it up? Moore brings us out to the right-hand side.
It's there
and
again.
There's an error.
And
there could be away on the break. The referee's going to call things back. It's all happening. But I tell you what, this defensive effort from Halifax has been absolutely joyous to watch.
They almost deserve to be ahead in this game. But the score remains 0-0. But the bravery and commitment of the home team, I think that defensive display there on such a big man in Tavita Pangai Jr. to hold him up and put him over the sideline, to keep him away from the try line, and then to force the error on Whitehead out on this right edge.
Well, we see Catalans throwing everything at Halifax, looking to use the full width of the pitch, and Kotrick has been the bright spark, hasn't he, for the Dragons?
He's caused an awful lot of tackle breaks. He's been very difficult, searching back on the inside, but and then they're using the middle men to try and knock the front door down.
So Halifax back with ball in hand, we're back underway. As we edge closer to half time without any points in this game, but Halifax will be the far happier of the two sides. Dufresne almost bursting through. One of those players has an intake of breath every time he gets the ball. And now Calcott wrapped up by Busquets. Partington. He'll play the ball on the 40-metre line. Pretty much central. Fairbank still going, and they'll get a penalty.
And perhaps they may just take the two here.
Well, Carl Amor put the two fingers up in the air for the two. We are right next to the Halifax coaching box, and looks like the message is to keep it rolling.
Well, there you go.
And that is
well, that's a killer.
Cardinal sin, isn't it? Missing the touch. I was just checking to see if the ref was going to say that had gone forward, but Makinson doing enough to keep it in the field of play. So all of that momentum that Halifax have been building lost, and
I can't for the life of me understand
going to be a turning point.
Why you just wouldn't take the 2 points on offer. He was 30 metres away and pretty central to the posts. And in these big games, which it is a big game, of course it is for Halifax, at home in the third round of the Challenge Cup, you just take your points that are on offer.
So Tarek Sims carries up towards the 40-metre line.
Oh, there's a mistake
here. An error again. Well, Catalans are burying themselves here, aren't they, into a hole. They've not been punished on the scoreboard, but how often can they keep doing this?
Well, you can't keep afford to doing this. You know, we saw 10 minutes into the first half, the first 10 minutes belonged to all of Halifax. Well, the next 20 have belonged, you would argue, to Catalan. Halifax going to see this final 10 minutes home here. They're in a great position. You've just got to try and ice and nail an opportunity, take a moment.
Well, whatever happens in the next 9 minutes, two very different team talks on the way, you would think. And again, Halifax looking to bring players looping around the back.
Look, I don't think there'll be any panic from Steve McNamara, I really don't. But they need to be better, there's no doubt about that.
Hudson and Partington going hunting there.
Move and square. Hold. Go to.
Hansen again brings the ball up to the line, and they've got some shape stacked out to this right-hand side. Charlie Graham couldn't quite bring that in cleanly, and he's lost it. So a reprieve for Catalans as Halifax come out of an error of their own.
Ruiz, there we go.
Yeah.
There's Bangor Jr. and just pokes his head through the Halifax defensive line. Forced onto his back though, so not the quick play the ball that he'd hoped for. Makinson coming in off his wing to get involved now. He does get a quick play, so Ulrich de Costa brings us out to the left-hand side. Partington wrapped up well and settled on the halfway line. Like Garcia still out there as well, so just ringing a few changes. Steve McNamara, Partington again. Now Tompkins looking to try and suck in a few Halifax defenders, keeps the ball in hand in the end, but keeps hold of it and then gets a penalty for his team.
Well, that's silly.
There's too much going on in the ruck.
It is. It's just silly. They didn't need that. Just a bit too much attention there on the floor to Tompkins.
Well, Sam Tompkins is the master at drawing that kind of thing out of teams, isn't he? Bangor Jr. Now they'll come to the short side. Stims brushes off a tackle and comes back in. Still going, Tariq Sims stopped 4 metres away. Golden opportunity for Catalans here to break the deadlock. Morg steps in, Morg goes through. Can he go all the way? He's over the line. But it's a double movement, so it will be a Halifax penalty, and still we await our first points.
Well, sometimes you've got to ride your luck and make your own luck, if you like, as well. And I think Halifax, again, just their ability to defend their own goal line. Darty and Morg had done everything so well, but he just cannot resist to promote the ball over the line once his ball carrying arm had hit the floor, and it is a penalty. And it's Halifax now who just cross over 40 metres away from their own line, and again,
there's an error.
Yeah, they're just not needing this. No.
And it could cost them here because Fuadiaha has some space. He cuts back in. Cesar Rouge still going. Kotrick. And again he evades tackles. Still going Kotrick. Can he force his way over the line? He does, but I think he's been held up. And the Panthers just clinging on a little bit here.
Well, I think Rowan Dixon's just give James Stoltensoul an absolute spray, because he knows that sloppy pass has put his side under enormous pressure inside the final 5 minutes. Pangai Jr. there.
Jacob Fairbank straight up on him. He's been one of the real standouts in this game for me. Fairbank got through a load of work with ball in hand and in defence, and Mork now brings it out to the right hand side.
Oh, they're living on the edge here.
Shouts for a forward pass from the home fans. Referee says get on with it. Morg brings us out to the left and drops it off to Garcia. Kind of ricochets off his own player a little bit there.
Move on the line where hold.
Can Halifax survive again? Costa brings us out to the left. Morg, Pangai Jr. could be through here. Oh, it's another really good defensive effort. It's Charlie Graham just sticking to the ball there. De Costa, Partington tries to crash over from short range. He's stopped, and this is the last, so
there's one to go.
Can Halifax survive again? There's numbers on the right. If Catalans can get it out there, Tompkins puts the kick through, and Tibbs takes the safe option.
Well, this is the part as a middle where your lungs are burning, your legs are full of lactic acid here, because they have been under the cosh of Halifax. Particularly the part of the field they've been defending. The most difficult part of the field is your try line, and they've had to do a mountain of work. How many times have we seen them just being held up short?
So the dropout goes up to the 14. Garcia carries in. So another set for Catalans to try and bash the door down before half time. Tavita Pangai Jr. wraps up again. He's added some real go forward off the bench.
He looks big.
Come out to the left. Cesar Rouge, who's wrapped up.
Well, they got 3 plays left to defend here, Lewis. Is he going to look to go down this short side?
Try and go himself, but Saltonstall sees it coming and wraps him up. Rouge in an acting half. Wide ball out to Morg. Will they look to try and put a spread play on here? Here's Tompkins, brings it back on the inside for Whitehead, but he's stopped.
That's you pushing forward. No.
And again, we're into the last tackle of a set. Morg. They get out to him, but they can't wrap him up. Have they got him at the second attempt? He looks to get the offload away.
That is brilliant. Brilliant.
Well, this is unbelievable defence.
It is, you know.
Whatever happens.
I keep writing them off. I keep thinking that Catalan are going to get over. They've had an enormous amount of field position and possession down that part of the field, and for whatever reason, they are banging on the door. But the Panthers just keep turning them away.
On the top team. Go on.
This is a big set, isn't it?
Well,
Halifax to just get through their work.
Get to the end of it,
get to a kick, and see if they can just grind this 0-0 out to half time. You mentioned that 8-0 scoreline in the semi-final a few years back, Kyle. This is not dissimilar.
Inside ball there, back to Walcott. They just need to get to the end of this set, put the ball as far down as the field. It's a 40-20 attempt and he's pulled up short.
Died on the bounce, isn't it? So Makinson will pick it up and
back.
look to try and get Catalans back on the front foot. And how much energy is that taken out of their tank, having 3 repeat sets, 4 repeat sets in fact, on the Halifax line, unable to make them count. Makinson again, busy as ever, coming off his wing, looking to try and make meters up the middle. DeCosta. This is Tariq Sims looking to line up a couple of Halifax defenders. Brought down 30 metres away. And that is the way they go, Pangai Jr., but it wasn't the crispest of passes, so just has to check his run a little bit. And he's stopped. Just a little bit of a lash out there, but the referee says everything okay. So Tompkins will put boot to ball, and Louis Jouffre will get underneath it. He's met by Cesar Rouge, but he does unbelievably well to get out of the tackle and stay in the field of play.
He does great as the full-back there to take it, knowing that Cesar Rouge is chasing down his fellow countryman, and he rides and twists away to make sure that it isn't 6 more to defend, as Halifax in the dying embers of this first half just look to carry an offload here there from Stolton Saul, move out to the left edge, Fairbank onto Owen McCarron.
Well, I'm not sure the offload there was perhaps the percentage play, but it has got his team back on the front foot. Just a reminder as ever, that clock on your screen, just the guide. We think there's just over a minute left. As Halifax do make it to 5th tackle on this set, and Hansen now will look to try and he won't put boot to ball. He's going to run. There's some space on the right-hand side, but the ball goes to the ground.
That's a brilliant
Charlie
effort.
Graham who leaves it behind.
It's a brilliant effort there from Tariq Sims. Just looked like Charlie Graham was just about to kick the ball, and it's Sims' hand that perhaps makes a pull on his arm and dislodges the ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, Carl, for a half that's bought us no points, it's been great fun.
Brilliant.
Makinson again off his wing, he'll play the ball to Cesar Rouge, who gives it to Paul Seguer off the bench.
Move, Thomas!
30 seconds left for Halifax to survive and take us into the break at 0-0 as Partington tries to go through the middle.
There's a man left on the floor, left edge here, DeCosta.
Rouge could be through. Rouge could be through. Louis Jouffre does unbelievably well to shut that down, and we are into the last tackle of the half. Out it comes to Garcia. He'll spread it out wide to Morgan, who puts the ball down. And Halifax do survive, and there goes the hooter. And would you believe it, Kyle Amor, 40 minutes played, Halifax Panthers 0, Catalans Dragons 0.
Well, they've been worth every single part of it. They have had to deal with an awful lot. My only concern, and it's not to take the gloss off what they've done, is that perhaps they'll be too pleased with that, and Catalan Dragons will come out in this second half, and you've just got to hope that the energy, commitment of the home side is still there for the second half, because they are in a game. A standing ovation as the players make their way towards the tunnel, and they're going to have to do it all again. But you're right, nothing splits these two sides here apart from divisions. It's 0-0.
talking to you. Yeah.
Well, stay with us, not you'd be going anywhere else, because this is a proper Betfred Challenge Cup type. And from minute one, really, Halifax have been bang at this.
Well, this is where it all kind of opened up. Just keep your eyes on the little melee between Fairbank as that offload's thrown away, him and Garcia. And the ball's picked up, and he finds the space there. Poor defence, really, from Chris Satai. Well, then Sam Tompkins does incredibly well to tackle Woodburn Hall over the sideline. He rides it first, and then just a textbook, but it's what he does off the ball as well to usher him over. Sam Tompkins using all of his experience there. And then Catalan. It's this man here who I think's been the Dragons' best. But that is an unbelievable tackle there from Jack Henson, working underneath the ball. And that really has been Halifax all over, their ability to work hard for one another. Look, the pass is beating him, and Kotrick does ever so well. But look at the shirts in the frame there. When there's more shirts in the frame, Lewis, there's more opportunity to kill the play.
Unbelievable effort, isn't it, from Jack Hansen to get across. Like you say, Kotrick, a real bright spark.
I think he's been their best, as Nick Kotrick.
Now this is an interesting point in the game, is it? You said take the two.
Well, you've got to understand who you're playing against, how this game's actually ebbing and flowing out, and there's nothing between it. You have to take 2 points there for me. And the net result is it's a horrible scruffy kick.
And it did look as if they were going to be made to pay for it.
But it was from that moment there where it was all Catalan Dragons down this end of the field. But boy, again, look at how many shirts are in the frame. Look at the commitment for one another. Their desire to get the head in uncomfortable places and make sure that that ball doesn't stay alive. It's been fantastic, really.
And Halifax,
I love this as well.
To play football right up until the half-time whistle.
Yeah.
This is Jack Hansen, and I'll tell you what, if they just take the ball with them there, it's a great effort, isn't it, from Tarek Sims? But a few warning shots.
Few warning shots, yes, but, and there is a big but here, they haven't been able to, Halifax have had fewer moments really in this game and haven't been able to come away with any points. The Dragons have had plenty, but the tenacious effort from the Panthers means that in this Betfred Round 3 Cup tie, it says 0-0.
It certainly is. We are none the wiser here as to who is taking the next step on the road to Wembley, but you can book your place under the arch, courtesy of our partners Betfred. Just take a screenshot of you watching this stream or a picture of your telly or wherever you're watching it. Head over to Betfred's social media page and reply to their post for a chance to win a pair of tickets, 18 plus only. Full terms and conditions apply. And we are, of course, just a few days away from the start of the Betfred Super League season. Wigan Warriors swept the floor last year, winning all four. They start their title defence on Thursday night, and in the past week they've had some very special guests visit them in training.
Right, let's go. You'll do 2 hits on you to ground and 1v1 in middle, alright? Win it, June. Win it, June. Go, Junior. Go, Paddy. Win it, June. Win it, June.
And you're on the up, the Championship Grand Final win, but a Wembley win as well, the 1895 Cup. That was a brilliant experience.
Yeah, and I think for me the most pleasing thing was 2 of our best performances last year were in finals. So it shows there's a steel about us when it comes to the big occasion. So that Toulouse game, they belted us away from home, and then it did give us a bit of motivation for that game. But ultimately, we shut them out, we belted them in every facet of the game, and it was really pleasing to see a group of blokes do what they did against the other full-time team in the comp. So Yeah, we feel like we've got a lot about us. We feel like we've got a lot of motivated players, whether they've been relegated before or they haven't played in Super League or they're reinvigorating their careers. Our spine looks phenomenal, I think.
Tom Johnson back home as well.
And Tom's come home, yeah. So, and that's one of the things that we don't want to be losing players who've come through the Wakefield system. Corey Hall's come back to Wakefield as well. We want to make sure that we keep players when they come through our system. We're working hard on our youth development as well, which is obviously important. All the best clubs in the comp have got elite youth development systems. So, you know, we want to be the full package as a club, and we feel like we're in a good place working towards that.
Are you ready for this? It's showtime. Lights, fans, action. Oh yeah, we've got action.
Mbappe again. Marshall with a flying finish.
Mikey will get you out of your seat. Junior will knock you off your feet.
Ferocious.
Can you keep up?
Wigan now own all 4 trophies.
Someone's got to catch the world's best. Big Sam's got the plan.
Crank it. Warrington win in Golden Point.
Remember the new boys?
Johnstone. Oh my word.
They're back for more. Faster, tougher, more ferocious. There's nothing like league.
Brilliance, passion, courage and nerve.
This is the Betfred Super League.
I wanted to come over and, you know, do something over here, not just make up numbers. And you know, I saw a squad here at Huddersfield with potential. You know, they weren't too far off a couple of years ago in the Challenge Cup, and you know, they can definitely put points on. And, you know, we've got some good quality in the team. So yeah, it was definitely a decision I made on a few factors. We've already had a bit of banter, obviously, playing in round 1, so it sets up nicely for a first game. But yeah, it's different obviously now. I've played against my other 2 brothers in games, but never played against Sam, so I can tick this one off, at least playing against him as a coach. But yeah, I just keep giving it to him, saying he's too old to be out there anyway now, so it doesn't matter.
I'd like to introduce you to the 2025 and 2026 President of the Rugby Football League, Adam Hills.
Morning everyone. I'm absolutely over the moon and honoured to be accepting this position. When I was 3 days old, my dad brought a red and green toy South Sydney rabbit into the hospital for me. So it's fair to say don't shake your head, Danica. It's fair to say I've loved rugby league for my entire life. Growing up in Sydney, it was the biggest sport in town. And then I played at high school until it became obvious that, you know, a guy with one leg wasn't going to make the NRL. And what I've learned is that rugby league here, what you have here that I don't think we do have in Australia, is a community feel. It's about the people. And I didn't get it at first. People said to me, oh, you'll love it. It's such a family sport here. And I didn't get it until I started going to games and started playing. And I realised that the greatest strength that rugby league has over here are the people associated with it. It's all about getting excited about rugby league, and it's about visiting as many community sports as possible and supporting them as much as possible. And I think it's really appropriate that the season's starting around Valentine's Day, because the catchphrase that I came up with on Channel 4 was, I love rugby league, me. So I love it so much that we're going to start it on Valentine's Day. The only hesitation I had 2 hesitations when approached about this. One was, should an Australian be doing the job? And 2, I will be in Australia for some of the year, so that's why I insisted that we have a couple of vice presidents. I'm over the moon to be accepting this position with such great people. Thank you so much for thinking of me. And as I said today on radio, I'm just going to shout about rugby league as much as I can for the next 2 years and visit as many communities as I can. So thank you, and I'll say it again, I love rugby league, me.
Live Rugby League is back on the Sportsman.
Here we go, 80 minutes. Live and exclusive here on the Sportsman.
20 games.
Still going though, could score, does score. We've been waiting for a moment of brilliance.
More drama.
Featherstone Rovers win in the most dramatic of circumstances.
More passion.
Incredible scenes here at Hayward Road. Pure joy.
More moments of magic.
Oh, I think he's got that down. That's a remarkable finish.
Subscribe now.
I'm in the blue and amber again. So I enjoy my time, obviously, doing what I did prior to this, but I'm glad to be home now, because it is home, really. I'm a Leeds lad. I've obviously played for Leeds for 12 years prior to, at the start of my career. And I'm enjoying it. All the lads, have welcomed me back. I've got my familiar spots within the change room and around the training venue. And speaking to the lads about, previous years, what, they've experienced and what we're doing this year in pre-season, it's, all the tunes are playing the right, the right notes, because, they've all said it's quite hard, and that's what you really want.
Well, welcome back to the Shay, where we have a half-time scoreline that I don't think anyone will have predicted. Halifax Panthers 0, Catalans Dragons 0, and the story of that first 40 minutes, Kyle Amor, is Halifax Panthers working unbelievably hard for each other and coming up with defensive effort after defensive effort.
Yeah, and it all started so brightly for the home team. Of course, Catalan Dragons coming up with, I think it was 3 errors in the opening 4 sets and then a penalty, which meant the first 10 minutes belonged to the home team, but then after that, it was just an onslaught really from Catalan, but without any real sort of finesse on the end of it. But what was brilliant to see was the commitment and the togetherness and the connectivity of the Halifax Panthers defence, and that's why the score remains 0-0. However, the home team are going to have to be a little bit smarter in terms of how they end their sets, because they came up with a couple of sloppy plays towards the end which put them under immense pressure, and if they continue to do that, then you imagine that eventually the dam will burst. However, it's 40 minutes and it's all to do for Catalan Dragons as Halifax and the teams re-enter the field once again.
You said that Steve McNamara won't be too concerned yet.
Yes. When? I think if it stays like this till around about that 60-65 minute, and they may just be starting to feel a little bit itchy, if you like. But the opening 20 minutes of this is going to tell us an awful lot about how the land lies ahead of this final 40 minutes in round 3 here.
Fascinating prospect on the cards. 40 minutes to decide this one. Who knows, maybe more. We'd have a bit of golden point, wouldn't we?
Oh, we would love that.
In the Betfred Challenge Cup on a Saturday lunchtime. A long way to go, of course, until we get to that point, but Halifax Panthers have given themselves every reason to believe that they could cause an upset in this game.
I'll tell you one thing, it looked like they were going to kick it straight to Pangai Jr., but they've opted, and smartly so, to hit it down towards Paul Seguier's side. That's a difficult take.
A difficult one. DeCosta gets underneath it, but tricky kick that from Dufresne. Dropped it in front of the Catalans man. And Paul Seguier will just run into contact. And I'm just scanning across the line, Kyle. I don't think Sam Tompkins has come back out for the second half.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that is an interesting decision. It may have been a predetermined thing, of course, that he was only ever going to play 40 minutes ahead of next week's Betfred Super League opener.
Perhaps so, but at 0-0.
But an interesting turn of events. Catalans without the man that you would think best placed to drive them around the field, as Dufresne goes up for this one and does really, really well.
Well, it looks like the reshuffle is Sejaruz has gone back to fullbacks. DeCosta has gone on to that left-hand side, half-back. With Artie Amorg just slotting into the same role. Benny Garcia, of course, jumping into 9. So there's the reshuffle. Where Saltonstall came up with 1 or 2 lapses in concentration with ball in hand.
So Halifax with a fairly simple job to do in their first set of the second half, which is just to get themselves out of their own territory. And they'll bring it out to left-hand side through Hansen. Feels significant, doesn't it, for Halifax, that they can have as much control as possible over the pace of this game. They're going to kick early on in the set. Interesting decision, because the Catalans back three was set as Fuiyaha runs it back up over the 40.
Yeah, they just set because the quality of carries from Halifax there really only got them to 30 metres away from their own line, and then as a result they kicked the ball, and a 6 again's been awarded, now making some pokes his nose through, and here we are, the start in the set, 40 metres away from the home team's line.
We've said it at some point, it feels like the tide will turn in the way of Catalans, because they do keep banging on the door, but how many times do we say that in the first half? And Halifax kept slamming it shut.
Yeah, I just don't think though that Halifax can allow this Dragons outfit to get 2 scores ahead. I think if that happens, and there'll be a flurry of tries towards the back end of this game.
Partington drops it off to Pangai Jr. He gets his legs going and makes a few metres. He's not going to be able to get the ball away for an offload though, and he's forced back round. Not brought down though. It's a messy play, the ball. Catalans now bringing out to the right hand side. Partington tries to spin out of a tackle. He's wrapped up by 4 Panthers defenders. And now they look to go straight from dummy half. I think that was Garcia, wasn't he? He tried to shoot over himself, and again Halifax Panthers survive.
Another huge tick in the box there. Just shows that the head is exactly where it needs to be in terms of concentration. The ball is always the threat, and Halifax once again just see them hold them out 2 metres away off their own try line.
One of the things that's really impressed me, Kyle, from Halifax in defence, and you could probably give a better insight on this in terms of someone who's defended in the middle, but when they're getting 3 and 4 men into the tackle, the reset after the held call to get back in line and get numbers in place has been electric.
Yeah, they are. You know, one thing they have done is inside their own sort of 20 metre zone is they have controlled the ruck incredibly well, and their system and how they peel out of it, you're right to mention it, because it just allows them to adjust the line and see out their next threat. There's an early kick here.
And again, it's a few times now they've opted to kick early, and this is Sejar Rude, who's now in at full back in place of Tompkins, and he might have engineered some space. No, he hasn't, because Bailey Siranen can't bring the ball with him.
Yeah, Sejar Rude's done ever so well to create the extra man. And Bailey Siranen, well, he knows he's made a big mistake there, because there's acres of space in front of him, just can't take it in.
He's going to have a couple of errors next to his name on the stat sheet, isn't he, when he gets into training? Bailey Siranen, former Canterbury Bulldogs man. Baptism of fire for him, playing in the Betfred Challenge Cup, and Halifax straight up to halfway. And now Fax again on their bike on this left-hand side. Good progress made up to the Catalans 40. Choosing the short side again, Betfred brings us out and gives it to Brandon Douglas, who'll play the ball, and now they'll look to apply some width over to the right-hand side, but just keeping it tight for the time being. Zinman in at acting half. They could have the numbers here on the right if they can get it through the hands quick enough. They could be in here for Graham.
Oh, good defence there from the Dragons.
Catalans wise to it, but one golden opportunity left in this set. No, the full reset. 6 again.
Well, this is where Halifax have got to make the Dragons pay this part of the field. It moves out to the left-hand side.
Hansen passes deep. Betfred into the line. Makinson does well, but he gets the offload away. Ben Tibbs has a crack at the Catalans defence. Halifax home fans trying to lift their team over the line. Ball out to Hansen. He drops off short to Douglas. Douglas still going. Stopped a metre away. Can they find a gap in his Halifax line? Out to the right hand side they come. Hansen just checks his pass and steps back in. Still trying to step his way through, but runs into traffic.
Only got 2 more players here.
Betfred Again, just
tackle.
Delayed his pass, but a little bit too long this time, and the defence gets out to him. So this is the last again.
They're flattening up.
Hansen stabs a kick through. It's a messy one, and
the poor end to the set
there. Will dive on it. And Halifax just looking like they ran out of a few options at the end there.
Yeah, they just looked like they panicked, didn't they? You know, they tried the little short kick through, but the quality on the end of it wasn't where it needed to be for Jack Hansen.
Bengar Jr. now looking to get Catalans on the front foot, but he's turned around, and again it's that control in the ruck that you're talking about, Kyle. Halifax almost winning that battle at the moment, so it's a slow play the ball, and Catalans always just seem to be going from a standing start. Kotrick tries to bounce off a few tackles and gets the offload away, so a little bit of momentum there, but Partington to Morg. Morg may have broken through here, but again the scramble defence is good. Makinson just straightens up, looks to go through the middle. He's stopped. This is the last, so the kick will come from around 25-30 metres out. Again, it's a slow play, the ball. Partington brings us out to the right-hand side. Morg puts us up in the air. Ball bouncing around, and in the end, Woodburn Hall dives on it, diffuses the situation. But Halifax coming from deep inside their own territory again, and you can see they're very happy to just slow the game down a little bit.
Yeah, but once again, the Dragons are just finishing their sets much better than Halifax. But there's a risky ball there, offload as well. Hansen is still moving. Oh, they can't. Oh, well, I don't think it's time yet to roll the dice, Lewis. I don't.
Well, there's rolling the dice, and there's putting all your chips in the middle, and
that's a big error.
There's an error, and well, they've just played themselves into that situation, haven't they, Halifax?
Yeah, Charlie Graham comes up with the mistake in the end, and he just can't afford to do this.
Very unnecessary, wasn't it?
Well, he came up with a couple of moments of this where instead of just taking the carry from Ben Crooks, he tries to play out of what is an impossible situation. Having said that, Charlie Graham just needs to play the ball properly. It's a big mistake.
So Catalans with a scrum, dead centre 10 metres out. The numbers are stacked to the right, but they come to the left, and Kotrick looks to try and line the Halifax defence up. This time he can't bounce himself off.
It's a great tackle.
He's stopped 3-4 metres away. Here's Garcia. He drops it off to Sims.
Well, they're going to have to rely on that effort that they've shown for 50 minutes of this game and just keep turning away. A sloppy pass there finds its way into Partington, who backs his way up into centre field.
So just a word from the sideline on Sam Tompkins, who's not back out for the second half. He's heavily strapped on his right thigh, so not the knee injury, but the looks of it that's plagued him, as Catalans could be in here. And again, 3-4 Halifax defenders just stepping in, but I would suggest that that's the last we'll see of Sam Tompkins.
One more to go.
So again, Catalans on last with a try-scoring opportunity. Out they come to Morg. Morg puts the kick across, straight into the hands of Crooks.
Terrible kick.
Pumps off a couple of tackles, and well, both teams have been guilty of it, but the end of set options has really let them down in this game.
Yeah, it's important as well to remember where we are in context of the year. Skill-wise isn't always crisp. Natia Morg. However, there is a flip side to it. Once again, look where Halifax are carrying the ball from. So
they can't keep doing this, can they, for the full 80?
Well, they did it for 30 minutes in the first half, Lewis, and managed to just rely on their defence, because these carries are looking a little bit pedestrian. Look where they're kicking the ball from here. He's almost on his own 25-metre line. Gets a deflection. There's a chance.
That was played at by my book, so if Halifax can get on the ball, oh, it's gone to ground.
Nobody wanted to take the ball, Lewis.
And it's going to be Catalans' ball, and
they all looked at each other.
Well,
look at this. The deflection on the kick, and there's 3 shirts there, and they all just have a look and say whose ball's this, and nobody commits to it. A huge opportunity there.
Just watching it back, maybe wasn't played at, so they might have had to have completed the job on that tackle, but as you say, just needed one of them to take control of the situation and see what they can come up with. But
it's 3-on-1.
Catalans with the ball back. Oh. Searing in again.
Nearly.
A juggling act.
On the mark,
He's not looked comfortable, has he, on his Catalans debut?
Big shot there.
Lined up. I think it's Brandon Douglas who's gone after him.
Lifted him off his feet.
Doesn't matter how many St Helens appearances you've got in the Betfred Challenge Cup. Everyone's fair game.
Here. You're up, Brandon.
So Busquets, ball underarm, just takes the Route 1 approach up towards the 30-metre line.
Release. Hold this 10 now. Hold.
Belief starting to ebb around the Shay.
Go.
Partington, he brings it up to the line, out the back to Morg. Morg to Cesar Rouge, tries to step back on the inside, but Woodburn holds there.
Release.
Catalans have come out to the left. Morg puts boots the ball again. That's a better kick. Can it come down with a good result for Catalans? That ball's gone to ground. Play on, says the referee. Still we're going, and then he wraps up.
Look at the effort again. There's bodies diving everywhere, and they're able to just trap Artie Morg at the end there. I think it was Tom Inham. The ball gets promoted off the back of that kick from Artie Morg, and it stays alive, and the shirts of Halifax just keep turning up.
And they're celebrating every one of these defensive wins as if it's a try scored. There will be a breaking point in this game. Which side of the ball it's going to come on, we wait to see. But Halifax doing an outstanding job of
gave himself up,
resisting, but then, as you say, gives himself up for the obstruction and just allowing the pressure back in.
Well, Stoltenstall gives himself up here, looks at the referee, and see now, look here, a sign of respect from the Dragons. They know that this is a very, very difficult nut to crack, and they'll do so by just taking those points that are at a premium this afternoon.
It's a sign of respect, but it's a sign of the times, Carl. It's 0-0 after 53 minutes. Someone at some point is going to have to put some points on the board.
Well, absolutely, but I just think, the amount of possession that the Dragons have had, they could have perhaps been let off. We wanted to keep this play up, but I think it is absolutely the right decision to do. And Artie Morg, you would imagine, at just over 22 metres away and in line with that right-hand post, will knock this over and give us the first point here.
Practicing his golf swing there, Kyle, as he steps up and looks to knock it over.
Well, there you are.
And we do have our first points of the afternoon. It's taken us 54 minutes to get there, but it's Catalans Dragons 2, Halifax Panthers 0, and maybe just the settler that the Dragons need.
And perhaps so. Well, it's a credit to this championship outfit and Halifax of keeping arguably one of those Super League playoff contenders at bay for such a long period of time. The defence has been exceptional. We keep mentioning it, but it has to be noted.
Well, Sam Tompkins definitely will not be coming back out. He is
That's a concern.
Down in his full Catalans tracksuit now, so his afternoon is done. So Catalans playing essentially an interchange down, but 2 points up on the scoreboard for the first time this afternoon as Busquets carries that one off the back fence.
Move Jacob back! Hold. Shoe off the mark.
And you just wonder
Play on the mark.
whether that penalty, those first points, is something for the Dragons to now build upon.
And another penalty.
Too long.
Just not clearing away, and maybe the fitness, the tiredness, the defensive effort they put into this game is just coming home to roost a little bit.
Yeah, they've been pretty spot on from Halifax in terms of their discipline. I think that's only the second penalty they've given away.
Red line.
So the penalty will take us up to halfway.
Go, you didn't though.
Catalans on the prowl again. We're just going to take a quick break here because there's 2 balls on the field of play, so we'll get rid of the second one. Halifax in no rush to get rid of the second one.
Play it, time on 1.
Busquets
2. Move time.
up towards the 40-metre line. Morg.
Oh, good defence there.
That was the cost that wrapped up.
Brilliant work, double defending on that right edge. Sate, real handful.
Brad Graham ready to come on for Halifax on this near side. Can his team hold out for one more set whilst he waits? This is the last, so the kick will come from inside the 10 metres. If it comes, they may look to play. So Rouge does put boots to ball, but again,
kick, and here we go.
It's a poor kick, and maybe the break's on here if Saltonstall can get away. And he does make some good meters. He's got his team on the front foot onto the 40, and as he plays the ball, Catalan still tracking back and then all over him at the ruck. So a penalty for Halifax, and how quickly a game of rugby league can change, Carl.
Yeah, a couple of things to point out there. Firstly, the kick was too heavy once again, but then the middle unit of the Dragons just weren't where they needed to be. Sate just ambling back. He gets back on side in the end, but Saltonstall makes another 20 metres, and then it's Sate who gives the penalty away. And Halifax, they haven't had too many opportunities in this part of the field.
Big
a huge set. They have to come up with something. I keep saying it because I think this is only the third set that they've had in this bit of in this part of the area of the field, and they've come away with nothing so far.
So all the options are stacked to the left-hand side. That's the way they come to Hansen. Out to Dufret. The numbers are there. It comes wide. Oh, and Ben Tibbs just ran out of space, but he settled right on this near side, a couple of metres away. Brad Graham has a crack. He's brought down 3 metres short. Still tackles in hand for Halifax. Now they come out to the right-hand side.
Julian, move!
Inman in at dummy half. Brings us out to Hansen. Hansen decides to keep ball in hand. Giuffre can't get an offload or a kick away. Ball goes to ground. We're still going. Referee says play on. It's all over the place.
The ball.
Whoa, now.
Oh, he's missed that one. Marcus Griffiths, rather.
That is a contentious one.
Well, I think he's missed that one. I really do.
It was bobbling around all over the place.
And Douglas goes searching, and he maybe just gets that one wrong, and he might be in a spot of bother here.
I've just seen it on the screen. It definitely does come forward off a Catalan's hand. It may have come forward off a Halifax hand as well, but all a bit of a pea super in there for the referee to try and see through.
Well, I mean, that is a double whammy, isn't it? Marcus Griffiths doesn't see the error, and then Brandon Douglas just tries to get off his line and assert his dominance, and a little bit of footwork means that he gives away a penalty, and all that hope just goes wandering.
Well, Sate nearly leaves the ball behind there, but does get his legs moving and makes some good metres through side. So Catalans already into Halifax's postcode as Busquets looks to bring them into the 40 metre zone, and he gets the offload away to Garcia, who immediately redistributes to Da Costa. Just starting to play a little bit quicker here, Catalans. They can sense that maybe this is the time to strike as Sate ramps it back in. Garcia, Busquets, he brings the ball out the back, and Whitehead just rolls out of a tackle, and he's stopped eventually 10 metres short. Still tackles in hand for the Dragons. Garcia, Morg, numbers if they can get it through. Almost. Oh, he was nearly away.
Jack Hansen nearly just pinched the pocket. Can't pull it in. And those are the big moments I mentioned when you come as an underdog. Because if he catches this with a clean pair of heels. Wow.
Just opened up in front of him, didn't it? But he couldn't bring it in cleanly. And again, Halifax have a job to do defending their own line.
Game of inches, Lewis.
Certainly is.
Bend your backs. Bend your backs.
I think we're going to the wire, Kyle. Morg. Sirani. Tries to crash through to the right-hand side of the sticks, but dealt with pretty well by the Halifax defence. He's Pulsiger. He's stopped 3 metres away.
Sate here to try and barge over, I think.
They've got options on both sides of the ball. They use Sate as the decoy on that occasion.
Well read.
That's a really good defensive read.
You're taking yards off them, Lewis.
Now Sims tries to go through and thought for a split second there that he'd gone into a space, but it's closed up pretty quickly. Satai will try to do it the agricultural way, but he's stopped on the goal line, and again the hand goes up from Marcus Griffiths, and this is the last. Morg stabs a kick through. Dufret's there to mop up. He now tries to get himself out of trouble. It'll be a goal line dropout.
Yeah, neat little kick there. Elliot Whitehead chasing through. The Edge do so well just to turn the back and stop his run. They're allowed to do that. And Dufret,
Whitehead just asking the question of the referee. But
I don't think there was anything wrong with that part. They're allowed to turn the backs and stop momentum. Perhaps we'll just get another look at it there. Oh, well, maybe actually.
Marginal. He might have had a point there.
The initial eye line thought that it was okay. The replay shows different, but
still a pretty good result from a Catalans perspective, and it's Busquets carrying all the way back. Well, he started that run from inside his own half. Catalans continue to just try and build the pressure on Halifax. They've withstood it for 63 minutes. Now they'll come out to the left-hand side. The cost of the numbers are there if they can get it through the hands on this occasion. I think they have done. Yaha scores in the corner. And eventually the dam does break. Catalans get the first try of the afternoon, and they just got themselves more numbers over on that left-hand side, put it through the hands, and Yaha dots down.
Well, I actually think, Lewis, it ends up man-on-man, but again, I mentioned him at the half-time break. The best player out there for me, Nick Kotrick. Well, he comes up with the killer pass, the killer blow, if you like. You see here, they defend it well, they all get off, it becomes man-on-man at this moment. But the power and then the quality to supply that ball. He's been fantastic as that left centre in Nick Kotrick.
Yeah,
but it's his power.
Bumper car, hasn't he? They've not been able to wrap him up.
He's been so difficult to handle all afternoon. It's no coincidence how he's the man that provides that, perhaps maybe, a killer blow. Now this is a difficult kick, so everybody in this stadium will be hoping that Artie Morg just pulls this kick. And it keeps the contest alive, Lewis.
Right out on the sideline, isn't it? It doesn't look like there's too much wind swirling around out there, but this is certainly not a given, even for the best of kickers. Morg's pretty handy, boots the ball, and it's spot on.
Brilliant.
Massive moment. Artie Morg stepping up when his team needed him to brush one over from the sideline. He does just that. The Catalans move into an 8 points to 0 lead.
Yeah, that conversion is a killer blow from a killer pass. Just there.
Well, 65 minutes played. Catalans now with daylight between them and Halifax. But I tell you what, we've had two outstanding cup ties here on the Sportsman this weekend. Those of you that joined us for York versus Hull KR last night saw a really entertaining game, and we've had more of the same here at the Shay. Halifax giving as good as they've been getting. And whatever happens for the next 15 minutes, Carl Eastman and his side can take real pride from what they've done this afternoon.
Yeah, I think the most entertaining perhaps part of this game really has been an underdog mentality. You know, that magic in the cup, that giant potential, giant killing that nearly was on show. And still, well, look, there's 15 minutes left. No, it's not, but I'm just, you know, that the biggest chance really Halifax have got is almost an interception or something that, you know, they haven't really been in the game as of such, but they have defended incredibly well. But there's two parts of the game, and
but if they could engineer something in the next 5 to 8 minutes, get a try on the board.
Oh, it'd be brilliant
all
for
of a
everybody.
sudden, the alarm bells would be ringing.
Absolutely. But on the balance of play, the Dragons have been the better team.
And it does just look now like Catalans are just finding themselves a little bit easier, a little bit more able to control the pace of this game.
Ball. Move, take. Hold. Go for.
So Halifax come left to right via Hansen and off towards halfway. This is the last though, so it's not going to be an attacking kick. It's going to come from inside their own half, and Hansen will put boot to ball. It's got a good spiral on it. Not going to be an easy one.
Well taken.
Safe underneath it. Decent kick chase, so the meters are restricted. But all of a sudden, the equation from a Catalans perspective is much simpler. They just need to get through their sets, put a good kick in at the end of it, and manage this game through to the full-time whistle.
That's it. And for Kyle Eastman's troops, at some point, they're going to have to try and roll the dice, and this guy has been fantastic this afternoon. He really has. Just look at the momentum he creates. He wants a quick play of the ball.
Well, in a game where they've toiled at times and done things the hard way, and certainly not the pretty way, Nick Kotrick has been a real bright spark, hasn't he, for the Catalans Dragons, a former Australia international, of course, covered the caps in 2019. Played most of his rugby for the Canberra Raiders, and looks like he's going to be a really exciting addition to the Betfred Super League, which of course gets underway on Thursday night as Moore puts boot to ball at the end of this set. Well taken in. But again, Catalans having to dig themselves from deep inside their own half. So Salted Soul, I'm sure he wanted that pass particularly. Can't really do much with it.
It's difficult when you look up and you just see that solid Catalan Dragon wall. You just can't buy any land for love nor money. They need a little offload here. They need something.
Hold it, Ben. Go for.
And this is where that Super League intensity, that kind of muscle memory of being in these close games will come to play, you would think, for Catalans.
Yeah, you're right. They'll know exactly what to do. Just carry the ball hard and direct and finish with a decent kick, and they should be able to see this game out and progress through to round 4 of the Betfred Challenge Cup.
The draw for that will happen at half-time. St Helens versus Salford next week, live on the BBC. Of course, plenty more ties across the day and tomorrow till we get to that point.
Go, so you're causing it to be slow yourself.
My friends and colleagues at the BBC are bringing you Bradford versus Castleford tomorrow afternoon. That is an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is.
That's not going to be a comfortable place to go for Danny Maguire and his side.
Move, Adam!
Here at the Shay, it is Catalans who look like they're on course to grind out a result, and that's all you need to do, isn't it, in the Cup? It doesn't matter if you win 1-0 or 100-0. If you're in the hat, it's job done.
Oh, you're right, Lewis.
Cesar Rouge puts that ball up into the air, takes a difficult bounce. Rouge picks it back up again, but that's still the last. It didn't come off the Halifax player, so Panthers will get the ball back.
Well, it's deja vu all over again, isn't it? How the Dragons have ended their sets and asking Halifax to come 90 or 80 metres if they're going to get anything from them.
And the tactic does seem to be, doesn't it, that if they're wanting to end the set, turn it over in a good position, they're coming to the right. When they've looked to score, they've come to the left, and
it's a little bit better.
Charlie Graham just finding a little bit of room to wiggle away from a few defenders, and this is better again as James Salton's Soul jumps out and gets some decent yards for his team as well. There's options out to the left-hand side if they want to use them. Up towards halfway with Ronan Dixon. He'll play the ball pretty much on the halfway line, and really good read from Paul Sergiet. Gets out to Woodburn Hall and stops him from doing anything, so no progress on the 4th, and this is the last. So we're getting into that territory now where perhaps they need a little bit of invention.
On a bit of luck. Maybe this is it.
Sportsman, that is a A horrible kick for Fudiaha to try and deal with.
Shay saying, I think he's pinched it off him. I think he's taking it off him there.
No, he hasn't. Fudiaha has just kept hold of it, but for a second, it looked as if Graham had pinched his pocket.
I think he's had a decent game, hasn't he, as well? Charlie Graham, the former Keighley man.
Play on, he's put it on the floor to lead it.
Hearts in mouths moments for the Catalans.
Move and square, Halifax!
But they do keep hold of possession.
It would have been interesting had he taken it.
Tommy Makinson, we've not seen much of him in.
No, he's just gone about.
But yardage has been really effective.
I mean, look, that's Tommy's bread and butter. We all know what he can do up the other end of the field. One of the best finishes in the game. But he's been industrious out of the backfield, and pretty much looks exactly what he used to do for so many years at St Helens as Busquet. Looked for an offload.
Still up on his feet, Busquet decides against trying to reload the play.
He's been a great servant for the Catalan club. Julian
I think
Busquet.
He's been good today, actually. He's done the hard carries. He's got them moving when they've needed it. Tibbs returns it up to the 20.
Hold the 10 out.
Feeling if it's going to happen for Halifax, it's got to happen soon. Out to Giffray, who has been a little bit quieter in the second half, although as I say that he nearly darts through the line. He had his hands on everything in the first 40. And now Charlie Graham again, looking to try and create something. Hansen brings us out to Calcott. Calcott gets an offload away to keep things moving. Hansen could be away at the middle. Hansen's away at the middle. Has he got the support? Halifax are on the break. He's looking left and right. Keeps it in hand. Gets boots the ball, and he just needed someone on his shoulder, didn't he?
Well, he wanted to put a kick in down to this left channel. He thought about it once, thought about it twice, and then when he pulls the trigger, I think it's Fudiaha who's all over him.
Was that the moment? Was that the moment for Halifax to break this game wide open again? We see it again.
It's beautiful footwork.
Screen.
The balance from him to ride that tackle.
To get round to Costa.
And then it's just there. He should have let it go then. And he tries here, and it's brilliant work there, chasing back. But probably that was the moment to maybe just get something out of this game. Of course, it would have needed to be converted and a score. Perhaps too little too late. But that's what I was talking about. When you're a lower tiered team playing against the big guns, you have to be able to take moments, and they haven't had too many. It was a brilliant offload.
Well, it's Calcott who makes the break and gets the offload. As you say, he's done really well to get it away. Hansen does the hard stuff really well. Gets himself away from the defenders to break through, and as you say, just can't quite put a finish on it. Frank Marriott on for the Dragons. Partington. Ooh. Legal tackle, says the ref, but I'm sure he'll feel that one, Oliver Partington. Catalans looking to get away on this left-hand side, says Arouge. Settled just short of the 40.
5. Move and square, Adam.
Costa.
Go 5.
Now out to the right-hand side, and this is Bailey Siranin. He's had a bit of a mixed bag of a Catalans debut, I think. He's turned over.
Play it. Go. 1. Move to lead. Hold.
To Halifax. Last chance saloon, really. Of course, they've got to score twice, but if they can get one, maybe they can just make things a little bit nervous for Catalans. Woodburn Hall out to Hansen to try and go the wide route. It's the one thing we've not really seen either team do much of, is look to get on the outside of the opposition.
Just thinking there, we've spoken a lot about the heroics from this Halifax team and the defence that they've been showing and displayed all afternoon, but it's Catalan Dragons who have yet to concede a try in this game. So
no, absolutely. We should say how well they've defended as well.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we can almost get dragged into the fact that it was a potential.
Hansen.
Like I mentioned there, potential
around his ankles,
giant killing. But Catalan, let's pay credit to them. Yes, they could have been better with ball in hand, and they've tried and banged on the door. But they've also been able to defend everything that's been thrown at them.
Carl, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, but I'll let you start thinking about your Betfred player of the match.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Of course, we may still have a moment of magic that could influence this game, but I'll give you a couple of sets and then we'll...
I think my mind is pretty made up, but let's just see how the next couple of sets pan out.
Partington up towards the 20.
Release time to go.
Pangai Jr. is back on and almost puts his man. Pulls the guy through, he plays the ball. Now they come out to the right side. Pangai Jr. again, this time just putting a little bit of footwork on. He's settled 6 metres away. DaCosta, Whitehead, Morg, options on the right hand side if they can get it out that way. They can't. Morg is chopped down. This is the last. Makinson, well, he was given nothing to work with there. I'm not sure what they thought Tommy Makinson was going to produce to get himself out of that corner.
No, exactly. Maybe Tommy's overcalled that and wanted to have a crack. But again, look where they turned the ball over, Lewis. They've done it time and time and time again. And in the end, it's been enough for them to win this game.
So, Carl, about 3.5 minutes left in the game, we think. Yeah. Who is your Betfred player of the match?
Yeah, well, it's been the player I've been most impressed with, obviously, this afternoon, and it goes to that left centre, Nick Kotrick. I think his ability to bounce and skirt and cause a little bit of chaos and create momentum off him, and then also as well, his offload, a brilliant offload to set up the only try of the afternoon through Fuad Yaha on that left edge. Around 65 minutes in it was. So it goes to the former Australian international, Nick Kotrick.
So Halifax trying something there to just try and break this game open in the dying minutes, but Catalans defence wise to it.
Stand Halifax!
More shouts for a forward pass from the home fans.
Keep working, doggy. Hold.
The Catalans still in possession, and then a penalty to boot, and just wonder maybe they'll go for the 2 here just to put more points on the board and reset. Looks like they're not going to go for that option.
No, they're going to keep
Stick
playing
it in the corner and just try and roll through the last couple of minutes of this game. So can Catalans finish with a flourish? They've had plenty of these attacking sets where they've not been able to make them pay, as Pangai Jr. stumbles into the line but gets the ball away. Cesar Rouge steps through and scores, and it's a lovely bit of footwork to seal the result for Catalans. They've tried that a few times this afternoon, but on this occasion Cesar Rouge gets the footwork moving, gets himself away from the defence and scores for the Dragons.
Yeah, with 1 minute and 20 left on the clock. It's the middle unit at Halifax that just switch off. The ball gets released out the back and again, and it's Cesar Rouge who steps again, and there's no chase, no one at home. Like I mentioned there, I think it's Douglas and Colcott. They just stop moving. You could see him actually here walking, and that's a great picture. And the moment you stop working, this game is cruel, and it finds a way of spotting you and getting after you. And on that occasion there, the footwork, the left foot step from Cesar Rouge time after time, eventually he gets over.
Well, they look like tired efforts, didn't they?
Well, exactly.
Weary efforts, and you can understand why with the amount of defence that Halifax have had to do today.
You would imagine here, Artie Morg, the way he's kicked those 2 conversions. The penalty, of course, was the first point of the afternoon, and then that one from the sideline. This one should be relatively comfortable for him to take it to 14-0, and he does so.
And he does brush it over. We've got 17 seconds on the official clock on the far side, so just about time for the kick-off and maybe a couple of tackles, but They've done it the hard way. It looks as if, well, almost certain now, the Catalan Dragons have done enough to book their place in the 4th round of the Betfred Challenge Cup and take one step closer to the final at Wembley in June, as Halifax go for the short kickoff and come up with the ball. And can they give their fans something to shout about? Whitehead bounce that back, and Cesar Rouge back into possession.
What? Move down, Dougie, be in!
But that'll be that. Halifax give an unbelievable account of themselves in defence and push the Catalans Dragons all the way, but it is the French side who advance to the 4th round of the Betfred Challenge Cup here at the Shay. It was 0-0 at half-time, Kyle. Proper cup tie.
Yeah, absolutely proper cup tie. And let's play credit to both sides, but Halifax, I think they come out of this with a little bit of shine. You know, they've got a tough campaign coming up in the Betfred Championship, and for all the negativity or the turmoil that was surrounding this club, well, the players out there on the pitch, if they put that kind of performance and effort in and sharpen up a little bit in attack, they've got a huge campaign under Kyle Eastman to get excited about. But the Dragons, they are the ones who have won this game 14 points to 0, and more importantly, they progress and live to fight another day in the Betfred Challenge Cup.
And all 14 of those points coming in the second half. We'll take a look back on how that 40 minutes unfolded and how Steve McNamara's side have booked their place in the next round. Kyle, I'm going to leave you to talk us through the highlights. I'm going to get pitch side to get some post-match reaction by player of the match.
Yeah, certainly. And here was where the first try of the afternoon came through Fujiyaha. Nick Kotrick there with a hard, direct carry, being very, very difficult all afternoon. And the ball moves out the back from right to left. Artie Amorg squares up, and just a beautiful pass there. And it's Nick Kotrick who's straight on top of Jack Hansen, being able to promote the ball, and Fujiyaha's there to finish over in the corner. And that took us to 8-0 off the back of Artie Amorg's penalty. Oh. And here Artie Amorg just converting superbly from the sideline. And then we just see right at the end, the final embers of the game. And Pangai Jr. taking a stumble, throws the ball out the back. It goes out the back once more. And then Cesar Rouge just steps off, and it's Landon Douglas and Walcott who just switch off through the centre of the field, and it's too little too late, but they can be forgiven. They have defended incredibly well all afternoon. You just see there the two front rowers just walking, and it's that moment where Cesar Rouge just snaps off his left foot. And then that takes us there to the scoreline that sees Catalan Dragons progress through to the 4th round of the Challenge Cup. They didn't have it all their own way. They had to work against the industrious defence of the Halifax Panthers, but it does see them progress through to round 4. Catalan Dragons 14, Halifax Panthers 0. And hopefully we can hear from our Betfred player of the match in Nick Kotrick in just a couple of moments' time. On a brilliant afternoon here at the Shay. I'm just going to take a short look at the very best of those tries from round 2 of the Betfred Challenge Cup.
It'll be taken up by O'Bairn, who he threw the dummy! And he's in! He's the big man in this Broncos Spax. Connor O'Bairn, 6'5", delivers a try, and that's the first points of the game. It's Birmingham these days, Midlands Hurricanes. Dean tosses that one back to Guzdeck. No, he might have found a gap there. Lovell went scheming across. Likewise, Ryan Mins. Oh, nice dummy! Thomas Mins is into space. Will he need the support? He's going to back himself here. Thomas Mins! Oh, that's brilliant from Gould. And they're all square, and Thomas Mins roll back the clock and delivers for Gould.
An old boy like that should not be making a break, but credit where, you know, massive, great effort from Tom there.
Curtis Davis. Shelly. Oh, it's been pinched! Now the foot race is on! Harmon! Can he keep his cool? Can he keep the pace? Yes, he can! Mackenzie Harmon races in to score for goal. And it was a generosity gift, but he had to finish it and point.
Well, Nick, congratulations. You are our Betfred player of the match, but my word, you have to work hard for that.
Yeah, definitely, mate. It was a tough game out there, tough conditions. Yeah, little things from us there, we just couldn't hold the ball errors, but yeah, credit to Halifax, mate, they dug in. It was a tough game, mate. They're a good team too, and yeah, it was tough out there.
How difficult was it to keep your composure, keep your cool when they kept keeping you out on repeat sets and good ball sets?
Yeah, definitely, mate. That's footy. That's the things you got to work on, and I just felt like a little bit of that game there, we just let down, errors and whatnot. But as I said, they came out to play and took us a bit to get involved there. But yeah, tough game.
It's also it's a new look back line, a lot of shifting as well throughout the game, players dropping into positions. How difficult was it to kind of keep that fluidity throughout?
I guess a little bit, but we were trained to that all year, training in pre-season, so we've got to learn to adapt to those positions because anything can happen during the game, injuries and whatnot. But yeah, as I said, yeah, a little bit to work on training, and yeah, it was a good hit out.
Your first taste of Betfred Challenge Cup action, what did you make of it?
No, it was good fun out there. It was good to play in the new jersey and run out the boys, and can't wait to go again.
Well, enjoy it. Congratulations, mate. We're bringing you head coach Steve McNamara.
Thank you, mate. Cheers. Thank you.
Steve, we knew Halifax were going to come out looking for you, but they really made you work hard for that one, didn't they?
Yeah, credit to them. They were great. They really were. We made that many basic errors in the first half. It was incredible. But some of that was down to them as well. But although they didn't win on the scoreboard today, they certainly made them did their club proud.
You mentioned that error count. How much was that concerning you at half-time?
Yeah, it was horrible. It's not the way you want to start a season. It's not the way you want your team to play. It's completely the opposite end of what we wanted to do and what we said we would do. So obviously we've got a lot to look at and work on.
You started with Sam Tompkins. He didn't come out for the second half. Was that a plan change, or has he picked up a knock?
He picked an injury up right at the end of the first half, so he picked an hamstring injury up. So it's disappointing for Sam today.
In terms of preparation for round one of the Betfred Super League, in some respects, probably the best test you could have had.
Tough test for us. Lots of things we want to do in round one we did today, so maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's out of our system, I'm not sure, but we'll certainly have to play a lot better next week. We will do. Well, we will do, I'm sure about that. We'll get back and get into it for next week.
Well, Steve, thank you for joining us. Good to see you. Congratulations. Back in. Kyle.
Yeah.
We said at the top that Halifax needed to make this uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For an hour of that game, it was extremely uncomfortable for Catalans.
Yeah, it was. I think probably more frustration for Catalan, really, because, coming here, Saturday afternoon, they probably maybe thought that they could roll over the top, and, let's pay credit to Halifax. Their defence was exceptional right from the off. That workman spirit that me and you mentioned a number of times in commentary was all evident there. There was only one time, really, they got it wrong, and that was that last try from Sejarouz, where they didn't quite tie it on the inside, but I thought they were exceptional today, Halifax. But crucially, there's two parts to the game, and they couldn't take any opportunities. And let's pay credit to Catalan that they are through, and that's all that matters.
Wasn't a vintage Catalans performance, but as you say, they are in the hat for the next round, and if they're walking out at Wembley in a few months' time, this will be long forgotten.
Yeah, no one's going to remember a cold Saturday morning back in February if they are to play under the Archies in the final. But I actually think in many ways, Steve McNamara might be he'll be delighted that he's through, obviously, but he got a tough test today, and I think that's ideal in terms of preparation. We've seen a lot of other Super League clubs get their last hit out before the Super League starts and have cruised through it. Now, obviously that is great, but you'd rather be tested and battle hard and ready for round one, because again, the skill, the quality, everything won't quite be where it needs to be. So some of these early rounds are about just finding a way to win and getting 2 points, and that's what I think that's what they'll take out of this game, and a bit battle hardened and ready for that Hull FC game that they've got next week.
Well, Kyle, great to spend an afternoon watching Rugby League with you again. Thank you guys for joining us. What a double header we've had across the last couple of days in the Betfred Challenge Cup. York pushing Hull KR all the way last night, and then Halifax today. For an hour it looked like the upset was on, but it is the Catalans Dragons who booked their place in the next round, and you can one last chance to book your place at the cup final courtesy of our partners Betfred. Take a screenshot of the stream or a picture of your TV where you're watching it, head over to their social media pages and reply to the post to win a pair of tickets. 18 plus only, full T's and C's apply. We will be back with more live rugby league, loads of content on the channel to get stuck into. Make sure you give our Betfred Super League season preview a watch, that's available now. But until next time in the Betfred Challenge Cup, it is the Catalans Dragons who march through to the 4th round.
Special atmosphere for one of the great occasions of any rugby league season. He's got the strength, he's got the speed, French, dazzling in this wonderful, most famous and historic of competitions.